Hey guys, so today I'm making the skinny lentil and veggie soup. It's a very delicious soup that I've been making for many years now. I first read the recipe somewhere, I don't remember where, but since I have modified it quite a bit, so now the way I make it, it's my own recipe. I kind of play around with it every time. I taste it and then I go with the taste of it, and then I'll add ingredients according to how I like it. So the measurements are not exact, the ingredients are. So there's I use green lentils. Sometimes I've used the red ones. Also, I haven't used any other kind, but I find the green ones, they have the right consistency. They don't break down as quickly and they don't cook. They kind of stay in the shape that they stay in as they cook. So I find when you're eating the soup, it's nicer because it's not like a mushy thing that you're eating. You feel each lentil. Then I put usually half of this of the tomato sauce. It's basically just there's no additives in this. This is just tomato sauce from Italy and sea salt. So that's it. I try to use the cleanest ingredients. Also, I find things in glass jars rather than metal because glass is the cleanest kind of container that you can keep things in. There's no leaching of metals involved, which happens in any metal or plastic container. Some things do. It's very small amounts, of course, but they do leach into your food. Use 1 white onion. I'm not very specific about the onion. Usually I use the white one. You can use any kind, really. I usually use two or 1 carrots. This time I'm using the 2 tiny ones and 1 big one, just because I've been having an issue buying carrots in Toronto. I find we have really terrible carrots, and I can't find good ones because we have organic carrots, but they're not any better. They're just as old, just as tasteless. Sometimes they're older, so I find because people are not buying them as often, they stay on the shelf for longer, and maybe that's why they're losing their properties. Maybe if they were fresher, they would taste better. So anyway, these are the single carrots that I bought. Like, I bought basically a bunch. This is from US, this is a Canadian one. These were the ones that like just looking at them, they look the most normal and like a real carrot. So I'm gonna try each one. And I'm gonna put both in the soup. Yeah, I've been looking for good carrots. If you're from Canada or Toronto, if you're from Toronto and you know where to buy good carrots and you care about that kind of thing, I would really like to know. Please tell me, okay? Spinach. I usually use like a whole bunch or almost a whole bunch of these, this kind of spinach. As you saw. And then normally I put red wine vinegar. I've since switched to the organic kind that because I've realized when I first started making it, I didn't realize how much stuff like additives that are necessary in the cheaper versions. This one's actually not like, this one's a decent one. This is a decent brand, but I've used this the organic coconut vinegar. So I'm gonna use a bit of both since I still have this one and it's still pretty good. I do like the taste. Somehow it gives it more of an interesting flavor when you use a red wine vinegar rather than any sort of a white variety or even apple cider. It just, the taste is a little bit better, I find. I always use paprika, and then I use a bunch of Italian spices. So definitely parsley, definitely basil, definitely oregano. Definitely sea salt, and definitely I have a good herbs de Provence mix. So I think it's I forget what's in it, but I find it's good, and it's all these things already. Yeah, so this is the freshest one I have, and this one's nice. And then I'm using the Italian seasoning, which again, kind of a combination of these things and a few other things. But basically I put a ton of herbs, so it's a very herby soup. I'm back, by the way. And I don't see a measure on here, but I put this much water in. And that's basically all I'll need, because I'll have the vegetables in there and the tomato sauce. I may have even put a little too much. Sometimes it's better to put a little bit less and then see how it is, and then add if necessary. So the one step that I forgot that I should have mentioned right off the bat, I'm also going to use olive oil, and I'm gonna fry the onion and the carrot for a little bit to pre-cook it before I move on and throw it into the pot with the lentils. So right now I'm just going to boil the lentils. So I also find it's a really good idea to always clean up as you go, because it really saves you time, and by the end of the day when you've cooked everything, like your kitchen is clean and you don't have the stress of Actually, let's do a taste test. Taste test. Okay, not bad. Okay, these are definitely fresher. So, as far as I can tell, at least as we have a very limited choice of carrots here, I would say not buying them in bulk is a good idea, because the bulk ones are really old and they're really tasteless. So these ones, they have some flavor to them. I can't stay, but I can hardly move. I can't say where I'm off to. I'm not using it. Somehow should keep myself from hiding. I can't stay, but I can hardly move. This is it. This is the end product. Right now the vegetables are perfectly cooked. They are just the right amount of cooked, where I feel that they're soft but they're not overly cooked, where they begin to lose shape. The lentils are nice and firm. Everything turned out really good. It's a little bit thicker than I usually make it, so normally I would add more water, but for the amount of spices that I use, the water is actually perfect. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.